Good morning, Monticello Middle School, and happy Tuesday. It is a 2 times Tuesday, and it is February 11th, 2025. Mr. Walker's outside one of our favorite places to dine and eat, and that is Chipotle. Can you smell the fajitas cooking? Mr. Walker sure can, and he can also smell those test scores rising as well. Remember, our focus is to move one up on the OST, and remember what that means. It means improving your score from last year, moving into that next scoring bracket. So let's go ahead and dive into today's morning announcements, but again, I just want to remind you all that Chipotle, Wingstop, and many other prizes are up for grabs and on the line should you move one up on the OST. So let's dive on into today's morning announcements. Let's start talking about a few key dates that you already have in your calendar from our last community meeting. Remember that this Friday, February 14th, there is no school. We do not have school due to a teacher professional development day. Let's also keep in mind that on Monday, February 17th, you have a 4-day weekend. There is no school as well for President's Day. This is a day where we honor and we reflect upon and look at our nation's past and present when it comes to our presidents. Please make sure that you put these 2 dates in your calendar if they weren't there already. This week, let's talk about our Vision to Learn site van. We do have a visit from Visit to Learn this week taking place on February 12th. That is Wednesday. Please make sure that you're there if you are interested in taking advantage of services with vision and eye care. There are a lot of field trips in the month of February here in Monticello. We have the Natural History Museum this week with 7th grade on Wednesday. We have the Art Museum with our art classes later this week. We also have 7th grade going down to Playhouse Square later in the month. Please know that when you leave this school, you are representations of yourself, of your families, and of our Monticello community. Let's go ahead and showcase RARs all day, every day, especially when we are off grounds. Reminder that our night out with the Cleveland Cavaliers takes place next Friday, February 21st, 7 o'clock p.m. against the New York Knicks. We cannot wait to see you all there. Stop. Pay attention. This is a screenshot of the writing rubric on the OST. You will see this rubric on the OST, and it is not something that you should gloss over and just move past. It is important for you to understand what a rubric is. It is important for you to use the rubric to your advantage. These are the tools that Mr. Walker was talking about that will help you along the way. A rubric is a set of criteria that is designed to give you a roadmap of what to do. It is so simple once you begin to look at and understand what the rubric is asking for. If you understand what the rubric is asking for, you'll do what the rubric says. There are point values assigned on a rubric. To the left of your screen, you'll see that there's 4 points, 3 points, 2 points, 1 point, and 0. Next to each of those points is what it's telling you to do in order to get those points. Notice that next to 0, there's not much that you can do to get a 0. Next to 1, there's a few things that you can do to get a 1. Next to 2, again, a couple more things, but not too much. 3s and 4s are where the expectations start to really add on. And that is not to scare you. That is not to provide you with anxiety. It is to make sure that you know that in order to get that 4, which we're all aiming for, you need to follow the directions of the rubric. The rubric is split up into different components that we'll get into later this week. But just think about how you are being organized in your writing. Think about your spelling, your grammar, conventions. These are all things that are being scored. So please take this seriously. We're going to talk about multi-paragraphs a little later this week. We're also going to talk about the different types of sources that you might come across. But writing on the OST is so important for us to nail down because it is such a huge part of the test. It is so important for us as a nation to take a collective responsibility, to do our research, to look back at the past, to understand the past and understand how it has shaped present day. It is so important for you all as a student who is sitting at your desk right now. You have an opportunity of a lifetime to obtain a free, high quality education for you to go on and be whatever you want to be. That same opportunity was not afforded to our ancestors. Those who came before us, especially in the Black community, were slaves. I want you to understand what that means. Enslaved against your own will, enslaved to work for someone else that you didn't know, enslaved for years and years and years with no end in sight. I want you to understand just the severity of what ancestors went through. I also want you to understand what a slave auction meant. Slave auctions were quite common during the period of slavery. The period of slavery was not just a year or two window. This was over 400 years. Auctions took place often, and that was to make sure that slave owners were buying and selling slaves. Yes, buying and selling slaves as if slaves were property, as if slaves were just a collectible item. These were people People were being sold. People were being separated from families. People were being told that they are going to be owned by someone else for a price. Can you put yourself in that position? And if you do, I want you to understand that what you have today is because of those ancestors. Again, that blood, sweat, and tears that went into paving the way for this country to be yours. You can do whatever you want to do in this day and age, and think about the impact of auctions and slavery on our world and society as we know it. How are you doing with your affirmation scorecard? It's important for you to have that in mind every single day, because your teachers and staff are looking for places to provide you with a signature. Remember, there is consistency that is needed throughout the entire month to attend February's Sweetheart Dance on the 28th. So we're going to go ahead and make it a great Tuesday. The choice is always yours. We'll see you around. Take care. Be safe. Love you all. Bye-bye. Remember that each and every day this month, you are responsible for holding on to your affirmation card and displaying
what you got to do, and don't miss your chance, so you can come down to the Sweetheart Dance. If you want to attend, then you better listen and pay attention, or you might be missing. If you want to take part, you gotta take this to heart. You gotta hold on to, don't lose the affirmation card. It's got 20 boxes that you gotta get signed. Better pay attention, don't lose your mind. Be sure to show your roars and your IB traits. Be your best self and demonstrate attendance, behavior, safety, and grades. When you show your best, you can save the date for the Sweetheart Dance. My heart is thumping, my feet are jumping. The Sweetheart Dance, doing my part, fill my affirmation card. The Sweetheart Dance, my heart skipped a beat. I'm moving